Well, good morning, YouTube. I was at a garage sale yesterday and I found this Adze, and obviously it's pretty rough in terms of rust and pitted and whatnot. So I thought I'd do a YouTube video on this. I'm just going to do a short one to clean it up a little bit. We're going to, first of all, we'll take our wire wheel and get the rust off of it as best we can, and then we'll take a flap disc and put an edge on it. But the reason I wanted to do a short video on this is hopefully to get some comments on terms of what kind of Adze folks might think this is. I did a little research, and best as I can come up with was a Cooper's Adze. It seems like it's a little bigger than what some of the images of Cooper's Adze that I saw, but it did have the exact same hammer end that most of them had. So that's kind of how I drew that conclusion. Let's get to it. Before we get started here, just wanted to comment on the new wardrobe edition here for the shop. Bought this apron. I was getting a little feedback from the laundry department that the laundry department was getting a little upset about having to clean a bunch of shirts and ruining a bunch of shirts because I'd get a bunch of grease and what have you all over them. So made this suggestion and picked it up. It's working out all right. The laundry department's a lot happier now. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, I think we got this thing cleaned up pretty good, actually. There's a lot of pits on it, so it's been used quite a bit. And one of the things I was hoping was that I could find some markings or something on it, but I really can't see a darn thing. I'm going to take my flap disc and see if we can put a little bit of an edge on there. It's got one little pit right here that I think we can take care of. We're going to take a little look. See that that flap disc does a pretty darn good job of putting edges on these. Okay, we've got this pretty well cleaned up. I'll show you here. Took the flap disc or took the wire wheel and got all the heavy stuff off of it, and then we took our flap disc and ground this down pretty good, and then I took a handstone, a whetstone to it a little bit. It's got a pretty good edge on it. It's not the best, but it's pretty darn sharp. You can't shave with it, but it turned out pretty good. So what we've got to do now, this was the old handle, and I bought an Adze handle here, but as you can see, it's for a bigger size Adze, obviously. So I kind of thought about finding a good piece of hickory. Piece of 2x hickory or something like that, and just make it a handle, but couldn't find anything at the local lumber yard that fit the bill for that, so I'm going to go ahead and use this handle, and we're going to use I've got a 36 grit sanding disc here that I'm going to put on my angle grinder, and this thing takes down material pretty good, so I think this will work all right. We'll have to be careful, then we'll finish it up a little bit when we get it close to a fit. But you can see here that even the end of the handle won't fit through there, so I'm going to have to take a little bit off of here to even start getting that through there, and then we'll, as we start moving through it, we'll shave a little bit off here and there and until we get a good fit. So stay tuned. Okay, we've got this down through here pretty good. We're starting to get into the taper, the squarish taper piece that'll fit in that head there. And as we went down, I tried to keep it as close as I could to the original profile of the handle. So we're going to go ahead and now we'll work on this taper to kind of get it so it fits into the taper of this head here. You can see how this head is tapered here from this side into this side. So this is what we want to have a good fit in there. And okay, we're getting very close here. You can see we've got a rectangular piece coming out the bottom, but we're still not real tight right there on the top. And we want to try to get that as tight as we can right there. Okay, this is about as good as I can get it, I think. We've got it driven in there, and you can see, I think, that it's pretty tight down here. We're tight on the sides here, and I think it's tapered pretty well into the head here. Okay, this is pretty close to the finished product here. You can see I left this, the normal Cooper's Adze is probably a shorter handle, probably up into about here actually. But I'm obviously not going to be making barrels, so I thought I'd give it a little extra handle length. So if I want to work on some logs or some whatever, I'll be able to do that a little bit easier. But it turned out pretty good. I took my 80 grit sanding disc and polished it up a little bit, then took some sandpaper and worked the edges a little bit. I left this just a shade proud here, you can see. Right here, I left it a shade proud in case I've got to pop it back in there if it dries out and that kind of thing. So, but overall, turned out pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with that. We took a $3 piece of junk and cleaned it up a little bit, put an edge on it, put a new handle in it. I think the handle was 15 bucks, something like that. And a little bit of sanding paper and shaping work, and we now have a tool that's it's good to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video.